I've played Fallout 4 a lot. Like, a lot. Bordering on too much, honestly, and I've been exhausting the ways I can challenge myself to beat the game. I do still have a short list of ideas, I'll even share them if people are actually interested to know what goes on in my head. But you know what might be fun? Playing a game that I actually, like. One that actually makes me happy and that I look forward to. Enter stage right, Dark Souls 3, my favourite of the Souls games and one of my top 10 favourite games of all times. See, I've played Dark Souls 3, also a lot. More so probably than Fallout 4, and definitely too much, but I just really do enjoy this game that much. Of course, even one of my favourite games can get a little stale when you basically play it the same way every time, so I want to try and beat this game in a way that I haven't before. Well, I say that, back when I first started playing the game, I did have one character that made heavy use of crossbows, but that was more because I was a coward who didn't want to get too close to the big angry enemies. It wasn't some sort of master strategy, but I think it definitely planted a seed in my mind, a question of whether or not I could do a fully ranged build and make it work. I know doing a Dark Souls bow only run is an idea that's already been explored by the internet, but not by me. I want to try this for myself, it should be fun. If you're not familiar with Dark Souls 3, then just know that it's a game primarily based around melee combat. Ranged options do exist in the game, but they have some noticeable drawbacks, like against shielded enemies, and also have a long wind-up time before they can actually fire off anything that does damage. Plus, for bows and crossbows, ammunition is a constant concern. There are very few enemies in this game that drop any kind of arrow that we can actually use, and even then, those are usually very specific to a certain type of bow that I probably won't get a huge amount of use out of. So to make this run work, my souls, the in-game currency you need to level up and buy things like weapon upgrades, is also going to have to go into funding a huge amount of ammo to actually attempt this. Plus, unlike melee weapons which can perform critical hits on staggered enemies, bows can't. Sure, you get a bit of a boost of damage, but not a chunky one you'd usually get from driving a claymore into someone's squishier parts after you knock them off balance. You also can't backstab. There are some upsides though, like keeping yourself away from the dangerous enemy that's trying to kill you with a sword, and also you can do headshots, but generally speaking, the dedicated ranged weapons in this game are a little bit underwhelming. As the game progresses, at the very least ammo cost should be less and less of an issue, but early game this could be something of a problem. Let's also keep in mind that whilst bows can be upgraded, they can't be infused to better scale with your stats. I feel like this run can either go incredibly well or exceptionally poorly. Let's see which one it is, shall we? So I welcome you, my friends, enemies, and all undead entities to my channel. I'm Ronica, and today we're seeing if I can beat Dark Souls 3 with only bows. Largely because I'm very bored of Fallout 4 at this point, but also because I just love Dark Souls 3 and want an excuse to make a video about it. Let us now establish the rules of the run. The only weapons I'm allowed to use for this run are bows. Enemies can still die to environmental kills and traps, or each other in some cases, but that's the only leniency in damage I'm allowing. Everything else has to come from bows. Non-damaging consumables, such as alluring skulls or bug pellets, are perfectly fine, but firebombs, throwing knives, or anything else that deals direct damage when used is not allowed. All other equipment will be allowed for this run, provided again it does not deal any direct damage to enemies when worn, cast, or used. I cannot use the summon feature to recruit NPCs or other players to my aid during dire times, and I must defeat the Soul of Cinder to complete the run. Simple enough, eh? As a bonus objective, I am gonna try and beat every boss in the game, including the ones in the DLCs. Not gonna lie, I'm genuinely looking forward to actually giving those ones a try. It's been a while since I fought Dark Eater Medea or Slave Knight Gale, so this should be fun. Can I beat Dark Souls 3 using only bows? Well, let's see. Be sure to give the video a like if you end up enjoying it, leave a comment if you'd like, and sub for more content if you feel so inclined. I appreciate engagement in all its forms and love to see people returning. With all that said, we can finally begin. Yes, indeed. As is customary for me even in non-Fallout videos, I try to pick a name that will suit the run. Then we have the very brief task of designing my character, brief because I have several saved favourites that I like to use, and we're starting the game as a thief with the burial gift of a sovereignless soul. I chose the thief as my starting class because it's the only one that actually has a bow available. Granted, we do have a very limited supply of ammunition, so we have to be careful until we get to Firelink Shrine. Yeah, we've only got 30 arrows, so when I say careful, I mean we're running past literally everything that isn't the boss of this area. Nobody here drops arrows, and I can't exactly expend any to try and get some more. Like I said in the intro, I've never done a bow-only run for Dark Souls 3. That's why we're doing this video in the first place, to kind of explore it together. But what that means in practice is that I have absolutely no idea what kind of damage we're looking at for the very first boss. There is a good chance that if I use some arrows and die, I might have to restart the run as a new character because I can't replenish these at all. We are stuck with 30, and I don't even know if 30 is going to be enough. Ow, dickhead. Let's just dive right into this, I'm sure it'll be fine. Hi, gun dear, I'm just gonna take this, thank you. Ideally, I should have used that time to get in some free hits on the dude, but I kind of want to see the exact numbers that I'm working with. 44, that's not too bad actually. And if I catch him in the middle of an attack, I get 66. So we know there's something we can do to increase our damage in this fight, but did you know there's something we can do to decrease our damage? And no, it's not just going for basic shots. The shortbow, crap, has a rather unique little gimmick where if you roll and then press the light attack button, you very quickly fire off a shot. This will be great for dealing with enemies in tight spaces, but I don't really want to do this against Gundyr. Such a shot does about half the damage of one of these default shots. And based on what's going on screen here, I've taken out about a third of his health and it's cost me roughly a third of my ammunition. I can probably get away with maybe 1 or 2 quick shots if I absolutely have to, but most of these arrows have to at least get the default damage if we're going to win this fight. I also really don't need to be taking this many hits. Ronica, you've got a ranged weapon, maybe use the whole ranged side of it a bit better. Oh cool, he's in phase 2. In any normal run, this will be the point where I pelt the fucker with firebombs until it finally submits, but unless you can tie firebombs to your arrows, we're not going to be able to do that. Plus, I literally don't have any firebombs. Oh cool, when he's doing his jumping attack, he also takes more damage. I mean, it sounds obvious in retrospect, it's just, this has never come up for me. Once it finally clicks in my brain that I'm supposed to stay out of range of the dude that's only got a pole, any concern that I had that I might die kinda goes out the window. I think Unix Gundyr here can either be the easiest first boss in a Souls game, or the hardest depending on how you approach it. He's very aggressive and he hits very hard, but he's very weak to fire, and he also can be parried quite easily. Oh, and in case you missed it, I finished him off by doing one of those roll attacks. That's the first boss down, and I'm feeling good. Oh, and look at that, we have 6 whole arrows to spare. That's actually, more than I thought it would be. Just gonna quickly slip down here and grab these homeward bones, because I am lazy by nature, I don't always want to walk back to a checkpoint. But then we can make our way to Firelink Shrine. Simultaneously, the best and worst hub area in all of From Software's Souls games. Best because I fucking love the design and vibes of this place. Worse because it's completely separate from the rest of the fucking world. Before we go to the first proper area of the game, there's some stuff here in Firelink Shrine that I would really like to get my hands on first. If you've played Dark Souls 3 before, you probably know what I'm about to do, but if you haven't, let me show you. If you run up this tree at just the right angle, you can get onto this particular part of Firelink Shrine's roof. Doing this will get us access to some gear that's otherwise locked behind a 20,000 soul payment wall. Entering Firelink Shrine from up here gives us access to 2 very useful pieces of treasure. One is an Estus shard. This is what we use to upgrade our Estus flask to give it more uses throughout the game. The other is just down this rafter through these illusionary walls. Then we just drop down from the end of this walkway and open this chest, and ta-da, we've got the covetous silver serpent ring. Putting this on will increase the amount of souls we get from killing enemies. Next up, let's quickly talk to the Firekeeper here. She's our level up lady. If we want to increase our stats, we have to come to her to do it. After killing Gundyr, I was able to get 3 levels. So I put 2 points into dexterity because we're going to want to use the longbow in this run, then the final point onto endurance to help with our stamina problem. If you are new to Dark Souls, then stamina is how many attacks we can do in a row before we have to take a quick breather. It's the green bar up the top there. Also, by talking to Andre here, I can both upgrade my Estus flask to increase the amount of charges it has, and I can allot it, basically taking away my ability to recover mana, but I don't think I'm going to use a lot of that this run. Next up, we have to buy some arrows. Currently, we can only get these wooden ones, which are really not very good, but they are very cheap, so I'm going to buy as many as I can carry. To get my hands on some better ammo, we are going to have to go to the first proper area of the game, so let's head over there. Something I do love about Dark Souls 3 is when we travel to the High Wall of Lothric for the first time, we start in this room. But then we wander over here, we strain to open these doors, and then we're greeted by this utterly beautiful sight. Lothric Castle is utterly beautiful, and I love that we can see 2 different areas that we're going to have boss fights in later. Let me just grab the first bonfire, and now we head over this way. This direction is not the critical path, instead it's hiding a treasure that I really need for this run, the longbow. Don't get me wrong, the shortbow is good, and in certain situations it will actually be more helpful, but the longbow just hits so much harder. It's just lying behind a couple of dogs. No, Fido, get down! Bad Fido! Definitely need to start taking these guys out at long range. This is really not going well. If I'm not careful, this dog is going to be my first... yeah. That. Oh, did I, Dark Souls? Thanks for telling me. Well, that was kind of annoying. Let's try this again. As I was saying, we've just got to get past a couple of dogs. Fuck, ow, fuck, ow. This is very not going well. You might now be asking, Ronica, why didn't you just snipe them from up there? I don't know. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but I think I'm just going to run past the two dogs, then past this dude with a halberd, and then up these stairs into this little area. There we go, a longbow acquired. Now I just have to make it back to the bonfire without being murdered. Yeah, I should probably run away from that. Oh, hello, Axe Boy, I forgot about you. You know what? Dying here is far less annoying than dying up there, so I'm going to take a chance. I mean, that damage isn't great, but luckily these guys aren't stupidly common. Ooh, look at that headshot. Now, listen, I'm fully aware that ideally I shouldn't be locking onto targets like this. I should be using the aim mode, but I'm lazy by nature, so I'm doing it this way. Besides, I never said I was actually good at Dark Souls. Anyway, let's take a look at our new bow. Oh, and look at that, we can actually wield this thing. Unlike the short bow, it doesn't have that cool little roll attack we can do if we're in a pickle, but both the range and power are significantly higher than what I was working with. With a single upgrade and with the right arrows, we could probably one-hit kill that dog. Now I just have to contend with the fact that I'm terrible at aiming. Oh, and in case you didn't know, for some stupid reason in Dark Souls, you can't reclaim your arrows. Plus, unlike Dark Souls 1 and 2, I can only have 198 arrows equipped at any one time. I can still have two different kinds of arrows, which is handy, but the point is we're working with some very specific limitations. Before we go any further though, I'm gonna quickly head back to the Cemetery of Ash because there's something I missed. Well, not so much missed as wanted to wait until I had better tools to handle the situation with. Hiding down this flooded pass is a giant crystal lizard. Killing it will net you some titanite scales, which I don't really need right now. I'm mostly just here for the souls. As is probably obvious to all of you, I wanted to wait until I had more ammo to take the thing out with, and the Comforter's Silver Serpent Ring to maximise my soul gain. Well, not really maximised. There are other pieces of gear that can increase my soul gain with enemies killed. I just don't really want to wait until that point in the game to get them. I could potentially get one of them fairly early if I had the tools to farm a mimic, but I really don't, and I can't be bothered to go out of my way to get them. Besides, this particular run is already going to have a significant amount of farming because, like I said earlier, I can't recover any arrows after I've fired them. I have to buy new ones. New ones cost souls. Luckily enough though, there is one place I can go to get a significant amount of farming done early game. I can't be bothered to walk back to the shrine, so it won't be the most painful thing in the world, but it is still something I'm going to have to do. Either that or I'll have to make every shot count. No, I can't even with a straight face. Before I spend money on ammo though, let's get some levels. For now, I'm going to focus on maximum HP. With all that done, let's quickly head back to the high wall. I really want my next merchant. In order to get said next merchant, I do have to clear most of this level. Well, that's not entirely true. I could just run past most of these dudes, but I kind of feel rude if I don't put them out of their misery. I really did try to take out this lantern boy before he summoned his backup, but as you can see, I missed. I mean, at least it's not as bad as Elden Ring, where the guy with the trumpet only has to slightly blow on it for everything in a 5-mile radius to decide to hate you, but, you know, still. Luckily for me, Dark Souls enemies are no more intelligent than Fallout enemies, so it's not too hard to manipulate them into being easy targets. And, luckily enough, they've all got a fairly short aggro range, so it's not too hard to get at least one headshot in before they've even noticed you're in the room. Oh cool, firebombs, I can't use these. Just past that room, we've made it to our farming location. Now I just have to hire the dragon. With the dragon appropriately pissed off, we've now got a place we can come back to if we ever need some easy souls. Now, I'm just gonna wait for that knight to walk away. Oh, hello, you survived, did you? Not gonna lie, I would have preferred if you didn't. I guess we're running this way. Oh, hi, I forgot about you. On the plus side, the dragon will only burn this particular part of the area if I intentionally attack it, which I'm not going to do right now, but it's good to know. Anyway, up these stairs, and we found the second bonfire of the High Wall of Lothric, and thus we've officially unlocked our grinding zone. Of course, we're not gonna use it just yet. Before I settle in, I'd much rather sort the merchant out. Like I said a moment ago, we do have to clear most of this area to even access him, but it's not a particularly big area, so it's not a huge problem. It's mostly just the enemies that might cause me some, dismay. These regular dudes aren't too much of a problem. They have relatively low health and poise. Plus, this guy very rarely guards, so all of my shots are doing as much damage as they can. Oh, hello, can I knock you off the wall? I mean, I probably could have if I hadn't missed that shot there. You know what, it's fine. The bigger problem comes in these larger enemies that can eat up quite a lot of arrows before they finally keel over. On the one hand, it is actually beneficial to kill these guys in their big wiggly gross form because they drop titanite, which we need to upgrade our weapons. Sadly, the one damage type that can trivialize this fight, that being fire, is something I don't really have access to right now, not until we get our merchant anyway. On the plus side, if he can't reach us, he does tend to forget that we exist, so I can probably just, you know, run past him. You should probably get used to me doing that, by the way. Don't get me wrong, if the enemy is easy enough to kill, then I'm definitely gonna do it, but larger ones that would just take too long, I'm probably just not gonna bother most of the time. Anyway, inside this room, we face the next, problem. That's a Lothric Knight with a Great Shield. It will hold that Great Shield up as often as it can. My arrows will just plink off it. Don't get me wrong, it will sometimes give you a free shot, and some damage does get through the Great Shield, like 2 points at best, but for the most part, when we are forced to fight these guys, it's not going to be at long range. I'm going to have to get in close and make them swing so I can get in a free hit. I mean, if I do attack the shield enough, it will break the dude's guard, but I don't think I have enough arrows for that. You know what, I'm just gonna try and worm my way around it. Besides, we'll have plenty more opportunities to get ourselves some souls, and it's not like that knight drops anything I actually want. I think sometimes they drop embers, but I typically forget to use those, so it doesn't really matter. I also often forget to use this green blossom stuff, even though it boosts stamina recovery, and I really should. I also feel like I probably should not have gone this way down, but you know, it's fine. I mean, look, we got a sword for it. A sword that I can't really use, but I could sell it. Ideally, I want to clear out as much of this room as is feasible, because hiding in the lowest area of this room is a key that we need. That key opens the cell that's hiding the merchant I keep bringing up, and I really just don't want my ass to get eaten by dogs again. Luckily enough, in the time it takes those guys to run up those stairs to try and reach me, they forget what they're doing and come back to the room. So as long as I'm careful with my shots, I should be absolutely fine. I'll hit him in the head, I'll let him run, when he comes back, I'll hit him again. At least that was my plan. After a while, I got bored of it, so I figured, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this the stupid way. The very, very, very stupid way. Something that's only just now clicking in my brain is how these arrows can only hit one target. I mean, again, it's obvious in hindsight, got the key I wanted, but it does mean that I can't rely on the area of effect damage that most weapons have in their swings to get through the game. For the most part, it's not a major concern, although I am dreading facing the Deacons of the Deep later. I also really want to get that Estus shard that's sat on that thing, but I don't think they're gonna let me. Okay, I know when I'm not wanted. By the Titan, I can take a hit. Ow, fuck off, I'm going! Look, I was trying to be polite, but okay, I guess one of us is dying now. I mean, I was right. Honestly, it's fine. I got the key that I wanted, and I'm right back where I need to be to unlock the merchant anyway, so, you know, it's kind of like homeward boning, just, you know, more expensive. Luckily enough, when you die, any ammo or consumables you have stored away in your bonfire are automatically added to your inventory, provided of course you haven't already reached the limit of what you can carry. Anyway, kill this big boy, deal with this dude in this room that likes to throw fireballs, deal with this one assassin who's kind of brooding in the corner, probably contemplating life and how silly he looks in that hood. Then all we have to do is go down these stairs, open this door, and just like that, we've got our second merchant, Grey Rat the Thief.
You're no jailer, are you?
He gives us the blue tearstone ring. Technically he requested we deliver it to someone, but that someone's already dead, so we get to just keep this. But either way, he's now relocated to Firelink's Shrine. So let's head back and look at what we can buy. After, of course, I run back and get my souls. Look, I know it wasn't a lot, but I still don't want to lose it. Besides, I still need to get out. Rude. Besides, Are you quite finished up there? I was in the middle of commentary. Besides, I still want to get the Estus shard that was in that room. Although, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm pretty sure I ain't gonna survive doing it. I mean, I might do if I just stop engaging every enemy in combat when I really don't have to. Yeah, maybe let's do that. So, in the spirit of not being a complete idiot, let's wait for that knight to go back to his original patrol route. Then all we have to do is go into this room and Veronica, don't snipe it, you don't need to, you can just run and grab the thing. Why are you doing this? If anything, I really should have sniped the dog because they cause me bigger problems. Oh, and cool, I'm out of standard arrows. Great. Luckily for us, Grey Rat the Thief happens to sell those ones. There are so few runs in Dark Souls 3 that aren't made that much better with the help of our thiefy boy. I won't subject you to me clearing out every enemy in this room. Mostly because I didn't need to, I just kind of cleared out the ones that were standing too close to what I wanted, ran in and grabbed it, and then homeward boned away. During the exploration of the first two areas, I managed to find enough Titanite to get our bow up to +1. I'm also thinking right now that we're probably going to upgrade the short bow as well, just so I have a quicker option if I need it. Upgrade it later, not right now. Just because I can already foresee it becoming useful later. Anyway, hi Grey Rat.
Oh, hello, you're back and in one piece.
Currently, our Steely Boy has two different kinds of arrow he can sell us, standard and fire. There will be a couple of times throughout the run where fire arrows become useful. For now though, I really want to focus on building up my standard arrow supply, so it's time for some grinding. Like I said earlier, our grinding is going to rely on this dragon. First, we want to go down here, take out the assassin hiding in the room. Not really hiding, just kind of standing there, menacingly. Then we just poke our head out here and fire off a single arrow, pissing the dragon off. Of course, that single arrow actually has to hit the dragon. Or, you know, it could just make me look like a dickhead. Yeah, so sometimes it takes more than one arrow. Sometimes it takes multiple arrows for some reason. Well, that's a little bit annoying. Oh, the night's coming. We should probably not stand here. Are they gone? Yeah? Okay, let's try again. All we need is a single arrow. Fucking finally! But yeah, there we go. Once every enemy is done burning to death, that's part 1 of the grind sorted. I'm just gonna take this. Thank you. I guess I could technically use this if I wanted to. It's a crossbow, after all. I don't know. But yeah, like I was saying, that's part 1 of the grind done. Now we just do it a bunch more times. And hopefully this time it doesn't take 7 arrows to piss this dragon off. Oh, thank the Titan. I did this about 8 times. On the last one I ran down to this little area here so I could get the dragon to kill some more dudes for me. Then I popped back to filing to get all the arrows I can carry. Now that we're in a better place ammo-wise, I think it's time to start pushing forwards. So, back to the high wall we go. This time we're heading down this way rather than into the room where the knight is. I did also go out of my way to aggravate the pus monster so it would kill the guys up there for some free souls. I definitely didn't need to. After all, we only got like 200 souls out of that entire endeavour. But then again, extra souls are always a good thing. Next, we slide down here. We deal with the welcoming committee whilst thanking Gwyn that there were no splinters in that ladder. Then we just proceed through the high wall like normal, avoiding this big guy. I probably could take him out, but I really can't be bothered to try. Then, by going up this way, clearing out the guards— oh, right, the treasure. Grab that before I forget, because I will forget. They said, whilst forgetting the other useful piece of treasure that was literally a few feet away. But yes, we then go up here, take advantage of the fact that if you lodge an arrow in the ground near an enemy, they'll focus on it, provided, of course, they haven't noticed you first. Then we quickly hop on this elevator to avoid the ambush, or this guy could come with me. That's fine, I guess. Full disclosure, I was trying to trick them into walking into the hole under the elevator. I just did not time this very well. But anyway, we reached the top. Now we can open this gate and we have a shortcut back to the very first bonfire, just in case we die to the boss of this area. Yes, we're finally going to take on the boss, or at least try to. Oh hey, look at that. My plan to lure these guys into the hole worked on precisely none of them. It's fine, they only cost an arrow each. Anyway, now we just dash down here, skillfully make our way past these guards. I couldn't tell you what possessed me to get so close to them. I really couldn't. Or why I tried to attack them when I really didn't have to. Then we just apply an ember to give ourselves a health boost. And now we can finally take on the boss of this area. Yep, it's finally time for the big frosty boy himself, Vort of the Boreal Valley. He's not what I would call the toughest boss to ever live, but he can be a bit of a bully if you're not careful. Looking at those numbers, the damage isn't too bad. I mean, it's not the best it could be, but we're not going to run out of arrows anytime soon unless I miss every shot. And even I'm not that bad at shooting. Granted, it's pretty close a lot of the time. But yes, from a numbers perspective, this fight is entirely doable. I'm also getting the impression that what we're seeing here is largely what we're going to be seeing with a lot of bosses. They just don't fully know how to handle someone who's not in melee range. They might get the occasional cheeky shot in, but other than that, on the boss side of things, this might be a very easy run. I mean, look at that, we've already got Vort down to half health. That's pretty good. This is where the fight starts to get interesting, because Vorty boy over here is now going to run back and forth like a madman. Now, don't get me wrong, this is quite easy to dodge, and at the end he likes to use his breath attack, which leaves him very open to be beaten, or shot in my case, but you get it. We've just got to stand over this side of the room and pepper him with arrows. Once he's done, he'll run at you, and I took a hit there I really didn't need to take. Normally it's quite safe to stand under his belly, but in phase 2 he's actually able to hit you down there, so just don't. It also doesn't hurt to internalise that he swings slightly faster than you think he does, and also slightly wider than you think he does. Although honestly that sentence kind of applies to a lot of bosses in Dark Souls 3. I won't lie to you, I made plenty of mistakes in this fight, like thinking that this particular charge attack was that one that was easily punishable. Well, I guess it still kind of is, but the way he does the second part of this charge always throws me off. And right here you can see me trying to shoot him when I'm right next to him rather than getting some distance between us, which of course results in a swift mace to the face. To be completely fair though, we have almost got him, so as long as I'm careful— oh fuck, that was the opposite of careful. Let me try that again. Crap, this is not being careful. Once more with feeling, as long as we're careful— huh. Hang on a second. Hold on. Oh, that's what careful means. Well, fuck, that could have gone a bit better. You know what, I'm a little bitter about that, so let's go and buy myself some new clothes to feel better. I couldn't tell you why, but I just really like the look of the chainmail in this game. Don't get me wrong, I would prefer it if it had the arms, but that's only for male characters for reasons known only to Gwyn himself. Look, for the most part, these games are absolutely fine about the armor designs being consistent between male and female characters, but like, why this? Why chainmail? Why have you removed a bit of the armor of chainmail? I just don't get it. Chainmail is cool, I want my chainmail arms, what the hell, Dark Souls 3, worst game ever, don't play. I'm joking, I still like the game despite its, flaws. Anyway, Vought, I'm back for round 2, and if we play our cards right, the viewers will never know that I took a 3-week break between attempts. Not for any strategy or calming reason, I just kind of forgot I was doing this. Once again, I'm not worried about our damage, that's fine. I just have to stop taking unnecessary risks like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, we got some bonus damage because I hit him while he was in an attack animation, but I didn't need to take a hammer to the groin. Oh no, wait, look at my focus bar. That extra damage was from our bow's weapon skill, the piercing shot. I completely forgot about that. I'm gonna be completely honest, I tend to forget about weapon arts in this game, but this time around I don't really foresee myself using that many spells, so we might as well put the focus to something, provided of course I stop fighting like an idiot. I've got to get better at keeping enemies at long range. That is the whole fucking point of a bow. Wait, is that gonna hit me? No, we're good. Come on, Ronica, you're so close, you've almost got him. Just keep away from the giant hammer, get your shots in where you can, and maybe, just maybe... Really? Really? Okay. Third time's the charm. Now, Ronica, you've been playing this game for nearly 10 years. You should have got good by now. Fuck, this game is nearly 10 years old. I've been playing Dark Souls 3 for almost a third of my life. Honestly, I have no regrets. It's a good game. I fucking love it. The sadder realization is that I've been playing Fallout 4 for slightly longer. You know, Fallout 4, that game I don't even really like all that much. It's like the digital equivalent of junk food. Anyway, yes, our third Vought attempt. It's going pretty well. I've not taken a single hit from him yet. I mean, I took some hits on the way back to the fight because I'm a bit clumsy, and I've already managed to get him down to phase 2, that's pretty good. What's my epic secret? I'm finally staying the fuck away from him with my ranged weapon, the way it should work. I'm also going to occasionally utilise some of these piercing shots because they do slightly more damage. Oh, and look at that, 2 of them to the face broke him out of his breath thing. I am so sorry for it. I have to imagine that that sensation is kinda like not being able to sneeze, but in my defence, you're trying to murder me. No, wait, not trying. You succeeded twice, you bastard. I don't feel sorry for you, and ow, hitting me's not gonna change anything, with the exception of the shape of my bones, of course. Are they supposed to be backwards? I get the feeling he's gonna try and charge at me. Aye, I got a different feeling now. That feeling is pain. Oh, look at that, it got worse. Yeah, I probably don't want to stand right in front of that. Yeah. Okay, Vought, special delivery. No, apparently last time him getting knocked out was a bit of a fluke. And oh boy, I think this is going to end in tears. I've just got to stay away from this big angry ball of ice and metal. That's the smart thing to do. There's not really anything he can do at mid to long range. You know, aside from that. But wow, that hit was seriously delayed. But for real, Ronica, this has to be the one. It should not take you 3+ tries to kill Vought of the Boreal Valley. Look, he's even making it easy for you. Just don't fuck up. Just don't fuck up. That's all you gotta do is not fuck up. Ooh, we got an opening. There we go, get rotated, idiot. Fuck me sideways with a jar of mayonnaise, I really did make that more trouble than it had to be. But with that done, we can finally leave Lothric behind and head to the next area, the Undead Settlement. Oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking knew I was forgetting something. Normally I go and fetch the banner on autopilot, so I don't know what the fuck happened here. I now have to wonder why I stopped to fight these guys when I really didn't have to. Oh no you don't, I'm allowed to heal, but you're not, those are the rules. I'm not gonna lie to you, I completely forgot that these guys had Estus flasks because I very rarely leave them in a position where they can even use them. But anyway, now I just have to clear out these knights. I mean, I could just run past them, they physically can't enter the room up top. Yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna do that now because enemies with big shields that constantly guard are basically my kryptonite. Any hoodly doodle, Emma here gives us a banner which we can wave to get the attention of some demons. Don't worry, it's not sinister. Probably. Don't worry, that's not blood on their fingers, it's strawberry jam. Oh wait, oh no, I'm scared of jam because of the incident. But yeah, these guys are going to take us down to the Undead Settlement where the adventure truly begins. Oh, don't worry, we are going to return to Firelink Shrine and spend some of those souls in a moment. I just want to sort out a couple of fairly easy to do things in the immediate area. First things first, we run all the way over here to get these homeward bones because they're always helpful, and then we go over here to master Yol. Yol over here is the key to unlocking the game's secret third ending. I say secret, the game's been out for like almost 10 years, it's not much of a secret anymore. The point is, by accepting his service, we not only get access to 5 free levels, provided of course we die twice between each one, but it also begins our preparations to usurp the Age of Fire completely. We're not going to quite throw in for an Age of Dark, we're going for something of a middle ground, a Twilight Age of Hollows. Those of you who don't know the lore to Dark Souls, I'm sorry, but I'm too lazy to explain it. At least I am right now. At time of recording, it's 2 AM and I'm very, very hungry because I forgot to eat anything today because brain. You know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and get my levels now. I'm gonna throw a point onto strength and one onto vigor, there we go. But yeah, no, we're gonna save the story for later, probably a moment when I'm doing some grinding just so I have something to fill in the gap. I mean, I could also just not show you the bit where I spend ages grinding in the most inelegant way possible. Nah, this is Andronica's channel where we don't do anything the sensible way. But yeah, I've also started upgrading my short bow so I've got a more reliable backup should I need it. I don't think I will, but I just know if I don't bother, I'm gonna need it later. With all my stuff done, we can head back to the Undead Settlement to gather up the things we— oh right, I forgot to do the level with Yol. You know what, I'll be back in a minute anyway, it's not a big deal. I typically tackle the Undead Settlement in a very specific way, and I don't see any reason not to do it again. First we dash up here to deal with this hollow slave who will drop on us and try to kill us. Then, once it's dead, we pop out here to shoot down this body. After, of course, we take care of this pitchfork-wielding weirdo. I don't know why you've got a pitchfork up here, buddy, it's not a field. Now we can shoot the body down, because for some reason I can't just walk up to it and take the item, it has to be on the floor first. Next, we've just got to get down to it without getting killed. It shouldn't be too hard, these guys aren't particularly strong. Plus, when you stand up here, they don't really know how to deal with you. But anyway, after making a little free zone for ourselves, we can now safely grab Loretta's bone. This is a very important item, it'll push Grey Rat further in his quest. Next time I return to Firelink, I'm going to give him the bone, which will make him a bit sad at first, because someone he cares about died, you know, fair enough. But then, once he composes himself again, he'll happily go out for a round of thieving, thus expanding his store's inventory. Ooh, and look at that, we've got another Estus shard. Next we head down here, there are more hollows to shoot, and I'm not gonna lie, it's already getting slightly tedious. Like I said earlier, the bow can only hit one target at a time. It does pretty good damage to a single target, granted, but any encounter that's more than one enemy is already kind of annoying, and we have to keep in mind that every time I miss an attack with the bow, I'm essentially losing souls. So yeah, eventually we'll definitely get to a point where it's just easier to run past all these guys. Now we just drop down here, dodge past this dude, and just like that we've got our next bonfire. Hooray! Now we just go up here, snipe these dudes. Wow, that did a surprising amount of damage. Not gonna complain about that. Headshot. But then we just go up here and around the bend, and ta-da, we have a pyromancer. Also an axe that I can't use, but I kind of like to have. To be completely fair, a lot of the pyromancers in this game I'm not going to get any use out of at all. But there are a couple of buffing ones that I wouldn't mind having access to because they don't technically break any of the rules. They're not dealing direct damage to enemies. And in hindsight, I probably didn't need to waste any arrows on this dude. Besides, I'm perfectly safe upon this roof. I just got to make sure that my arrows don't hit the roof when I shoot at the thing. And down he goes. Now we can just hop over here. Hey buddy, how you doing over there? I hate to be that gal, but you're kind of in my way, so yeah. Drama queen. But yes, now we have the Fire Clutch ring. On most playthroughs, I completely don't bother with this ring. Anything that makes me take more damage than I need to is just not okay to me. But because ideally this build should keep us out of the danger zone of most attacks, I think it might come in handy against a couple of bosses. In case you don't know, the clutch rings in this game make us do more damage with a particular element, like fire, but we also take more damage from that source. Thankfully enough, in the early areas, there aren't too many enemies that actually make use of fire, so I think we'll be okay to use it for a little while. I think it's only really going to be a problem mid to late game when we start facing the Lords of Cinder, who, you know, have Cinder in their titles, so fire is kind of a thing. Just gonna open up this door, cross this bridge, and ta-da, we've got yet another bonfire. Since we've got this next checkpoint, before we press onwards, we might as well head back to Firelink Shrine and do a couple of bits. First and foremost, let's head down here and break the news to Grey Rat. Sorry friend, I think your pal is, yeah.
Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised though. Almost a relief, really.
I wish I could say I didn't understand this feeling, but anyway, before he starts crying, let's stock up on some fire arrows, because the boss of the Undead Settlement is particularly weak to fire. Oh, they're 100 souls each. Oh, my poor bank account. Fuck it, they'll be useful. So, back we go. before we do face the main boss of this area, there's a couple of things I'd like to get sorted first. One of them is over this bridge guarded by these dudes. Luckily, if we play our cards right, we can usually trick the bigger ones into walking off the cliff. Just gotta bait out the throw attack, there we go, bye. They won't usually die from this height, but at least they're out of the way, that's all I really care about. Just gotta deal with the next one, haha, oh crap. I don't want to critique your work too badly, Mr. Hollow Man Servant, sir, but that meat needed more seasoning. I think there's some down this hole here, why don't you go find it? Anyway, we go up here. Before we do press on though, just gonna turn around, take aim, and fire at that body up there. It's concealing a ring that will be quite handy for the more fire-drenched levels later. There we go, the Flame Stone Plate Ring. This will give us a little bit of an extra defense against fire, which will come in handy surprisingly soon. Back on track, we pop up here, open these doors, and inside is waiting for us the best friend in all of Souls, which feels weird to say that about a human and not a dog. But no, what I meant is Onion Bro. Hi, Onion Bro. Mr. Onion Bro Esquire here is going to come in very helpful later in the run, both because he's directly tied to a Lord of Cinder and can help us defeat one in a way that technically doesn't violate any rules, but also because of Grey Rat. Later on, when I send Grey Rat to pillage for a second time, he can die, so we have to make sure there's someone in the area who can help him. Doobie 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 doo, gonna grab the ember, gonna ignore the ice dude. Full disclosure, I'm very aware that we can lure him back into the elevator room we just came out of and get him to fall down the hole to kill him easily, but I don't want to do that. I'm gonna cheese him in a different way. I'm just gonna stand out here and fire into the room with my bow. Pew. Yeah, that could be better. Luckily for me, there's a very specific invisible wall in this doorway that prevents enemies from walking through, so he can't get to us. He's only got like one attack that might be of a threat to us if we're too close to the door. Otherwise, you can very safely just plink him down from here. Aw, thank you, another sword that I can't use. Anywho, now we have to go to the top of this tower. There we go. Next up, we have to enter some long negotiations with this giant to bring about peace between our two worlds.
Who are you? I help anytime.
Oh, that took forever. Now we head back down the elevator, but jump off before we get to the bottom. There we go, I definitely haven't fucked this up before. And just like that, we found Onion Boy yet again. It's time to push him further in his quest.
Oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried.
Aw, he's so sweet. Anyway, to do said pushing forwards, we're gonna have to take out this big fire demon.
I, Sigurd of the Knights of Katarina, fight by your side.
Damn, he is really into this. You know, I've never before fought this boss with an entirely ranged character, and I really wish I had, because that makes this fight so much easier. Don't get me wrong, he's not the toughest enemy we'll face throughout this game, it's just he has this one attack, which I call the fuck off I win attack, which, after an incredibly long build-up, will see him slam his axe into the ground, it explodes in fire, and it basically just kills you. I have never been able to survive that attack, so yeah. Luckily enough, despite this thing having some ranged attacks, it really doesn't know how to handle a bow build. So just like that, the big demon goes down and Sigurd of Katarina could live to fight another day. Oh yeah, he's mortal by the way, he can die, so but yes, with the demon dead, we can now loot this area in safety, which means I can get access to the northern set. A pretty cool looking set, honestly, I quite like it. I like the pauldron, I like the chainmail look for it, it's cool, I like it. Of course, I didn't come all this way just for a cool looking piece of armour. That was only like 50% of the reason. The other half of the reason is just up here past these large women, which I probably didn't need to kill. I could have just run past them. Why do I keep making this harder on myself? Ah well, I got a spiked mace out of the whole thing. I can't use it, I don't need it, but you know, I've got it. Now we just run up here and oh right, there's a ring here as well that I always forget about because I literally never use it. The way that one works is basically the lighter your character is in terms of equipment, the more damage they'll do. I imagine it's great for glass cannon builds, but I don't really plan to go that way. Anyway, down here, then down here, then down here again, we can nab ourselves the Chukadi ring. I know it's not called that, but I started naming it that as a joke and now I can't stop. Oh yeah, we also got the mirror set, which is actually quite cool. I might wear this instead of the northern set. But yeah, just in case you don't know, the Chukadi ring increases stamina regeneration. It's very helpful. Fuck it, I can't be bothered to walk back. You know what I'm going to do now that I'm here? I'm going to go and visit Yol to get that free level I wanted. I'll take a point of endurance, please. Thank you very much. This does come with some, drawbacks. If we die too many times, well, I have a feeling you're going to see, but just know it gets not pretty. Yeah, I should probably sort out the Estus shard. There we go, one extra charge. Oh, and also we have to check in with Grey Rat. How you doing, buddy?
Heavens, she was already dead.
Not so good then. Don't worry though, Ronica the mental health expert knows exactly how to get him out of this funk. We just travel away and travel back. Hey buddy, you're already looking a lot better. What's happening, my guy?
Everyone's dead or hollowed away anyway, right? So I might as well fetch some weapons or treasure for you.
Granted, we now have to wait for him to get back, and by wait, I mean we have to kill a boss. So, let's go and do that. Alright, I'm Embered. That means Holy Knight Hodrick is going to invade us. Holy Knight Hodrick, an NPC invader and the first one we can encounter in Dark Souls 3. His sword builds up our bleed meter, which, if it fills, for those who don't know, it causes us to take a lot of unavoidable damage. He also just adores parrying, and he has 2 pyromancies. Power Within, which increases the damage he deals for a few seconds. I mean, granted, it means he takes some extra damage over time, but, like, it's negligible. He also has Warmth, which creates a bubble that slowly heals anyone nearby over time, and because he's a humanoid, he has an Estus flask that he can drink from when he gets low on health. You've probably already noticed how much damage our arrows aren't doing to him, so I'm gonna go for the classic Dark Souls strategy of trying to get his AI to walk off a cliff. I know I give Fallout 4 a lot of shit for its AI, but Dark Souls is, it's not better. For this to work, we have to stay on this side of the railing, and he has to stay on that side of the railing, which is usually a problem, but because I'm a ranged build, his AI doesn't fully know how to handle me. Look, he keeps trying to cast his pyromancy to make himself stronger. You know what though, as long as I keep landing shots, we can probably keep him in this cycle until we kill him. It probably would have worked, but unfortunately I lingered on my button press for too long and didn't fire an arrow quick enough, which kind of broke the cycle. So we're back to the classic get him to walk off a cliff strategy. For the best results, I let him get a couple of hits on me here. Yes, I let him, I didn't fuck up, shut up, to convince his AI that he doesn't have to do some big circle to actually get a hit on me. Ooh, come on, he's so close. There we go. Get rotated, idiot. Now we're gonna press forward, and by press forward I of course mean we're gonna take one more deviation to grab something useful. Also, if you remember, I made friends with a giant earlier. That giant is the one currently shooting huge arrows at these enemies. If I wasn't friends with him, then those arrows would also be hurting me, but because we have an understanding, the laws of physics no longer apply. You might now be wondering, Ronica, if that was the case, why did you not just wait for all the enemies to be dead? I'll refer you to the last Fallout 4 challenge run I did on the channel to answer your question, but if you haven't got time to also watch that, then I'll sum it up for you. I'm stupid. Now that this section is clear, we can head up this way to grab a fairly useful item. You should definitely deal with that guy up there first though. The stuff up here is more useful for those running a faith build, but then again there are plenty of miracles that I can grab that don't technically violate the rules of the run, so I should be able to use them if I absolutely have to. Sorry, anyway, let me just finish taking out this assassin. I have no idea how that missed. Oh shit, my health is like really low, I need to be careful. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, let's try that again. This time we wait for all the enemies to be dead. Now we head up here. We're just going to avoid the droppy down guy because I don't need the thing he's guarding. He's just guarding a set of clothes that I really don't like the look of. What we're actually here for is the Mortician's Ashes. With these we can buy a key that unlocks a secret part of the undead settlement. Contained within is a Rena of Kareem, a miracle merchant. Like I said, she'll probably be helpful later, but I'm not going to go and rescue her until after I deal with the area boss because we are right outside its arena at this point. My friends, enemies and entities, I present to you the Cursed Rotted Greatwood. Easily one of the bosses of all time. Most of the Greatwood's body is completely immune to damage, but those fleshy sacks are very vulnerable, and have an incredibly low tolerance to being set on fire, or at least they're supposed to. But here's where we see the problem with fire arrows. Each arrow only does like 40 points of fire damage, the other 20 or so go into physical. That's not a lot of damage. So the long and the short of it is I kind of wasted a whole bunch of souls on some fire arrows that really aren't going to make this fight any easier, but because I want to somehow justify my investment, I'm going to be using them anyway. If this boss was anything approaching a challenge, I might actually be worried. In phase 1, the biggest threat to you are these dickheads who line the arena. With my particularly ammo-dependent build, it's not really worth engaging each and every one of them. Fortunately enough, the tree can damage them, and because the lock-on in this fight is more a hindrance than a help, I'm not going to be relying on it to hit my target. Instead, I'm going to be relying on my elite sharpshooting skills. Look at me go. Luckily for us, when he's lost just under 50% of his maximum health, he'll do this big butt slam which enters us into phase 2. Phase 2 drops us into this hole. The enemies in the room don't survive the drop for some reason, yet we do, and the tree does, even though this height would definitely be enough to kill us under normal circumstances. Dark Souls 3 does this a few times actually, and it's very strange. Anyway, he's now got a third arm. However, along with the third arm, a bunch more of these pods become targetable, so really all this poor thing is doing is prolonging its inevitable death. I really don't have a lot to say about this particular fight. In total, he only got like 2 hits on me throughout the entire fight, and considering his size and reach, that's sad. And one of those hits was me, right next to him, literally mistiming a dodge. In total, I don't think this fight even took 2 minutes. Honestly, this was probably the fastest I've ever done this guy in. Rest in peace, you big awkward log. I thank you for your service. Oh yeah, this thing was actually doing something. It was literally holding a bunch of curses so they wouldn't hurt other people. Anyway, back to filing we go. Now that we've proven that you can be a great lumberjack with a bow and arrow, we can go back to Firelink Shrine, and Grey Rat's returned from his little adventure. Along with having some new weapon and armor pieces to pick from, he's also got some new arrows. These large arrows do significantly more damage than a regular one, although they do have a significantly reduced range. They also cost 50 souls apiece because Dark Souls 3 hates me. For now, I think it's better for our bank account if we spend the money on the standard arrows. I also kind of want that. It's a cool looking piece of armor and it really fits an archery build. Now, I'll grab it later when enemies drop more souls per kill. I also figure while I'm here I might as well put some levels into endurance and dex. I know, I'm a filthy casual, feel free to call me whatever names you want. Oh, before we do go though, I want to kindle a bonfire. I found an undead bone shard in the undead settlement earlier, and if we burn this in the Firelink Shrine bonfire, it will increase the amount of health we recover when we use a flask. Before we press on and clear some more areas though, I'm having a thought. I should probably get all 4 of those 3 levels from Yoel of Londor before he dies, because you can't get them after he dies, obviously. Oh right, I forgot to hand over the Mortician's ashes to the Fuck it, we're using that take. Handing over said ashes to the Shrine Handmaiden allows us to now buy a few extra things from her. First things first though, I need to sell these souls to her so I can actually, afford what I want to purchase. And just like that, we could buy the Grave Key, which gives us access to that NPC I was talking about before we fought the Greatwood. You know what, fuck it, I might as well go and grab her now while I'm still thinking about her. Sure, there are a lot of skeletons in my way, but to be completely honest with you, I'm just gonna run past them because I can't be bothered. Ooh, hold on, there's one extra upside to coming down this way. Let me just snipe that. There we go, we've now got a blessed shield. We're not going to use the shield to block anything because its blocking is absolutely terrible. Instead, we're just going to wear it on our back because it slowly regenerates our HP. By that I mean very slowly, like every 4 seconds you get maybe 1 HP back, but it's better than nothing. Anyway, we've reached Arena of Kareem and now we can send her back to Firelink Shrine so she can become a merchant.
Yes, there you are. So close indeed.
Let's go and have a look at what she's selling. To absolutely nobody's surprise, there's nothing I can use here just yet, but it's nice to have the option to buy it so that I can work towards using it. One of these miracles looks like it's going to be very helpful at one point. And again, none of them violate the rules of the run because they don't do any damage. Still, we've got a ways to go before we can actually use them. Anyway, back to the whole leveling up topic from earlier. I am going to have to die a few times to get those 3 levels, and the Road to Sacrifices usually kills me at least a couple of times, so we might as well just run through here and get to the next place. These Corvian enemies are way too frantic, and for my particular build, I have a feeling that we're not going to have an easy time with them. Provided that their AI can actually handle my particular approach, which it looks like it might struggle with. I don't know what it is about that final rawr it makes, it just always amuses me. Actually, you know what, I just kind of want to get past this bit because it's not particularly interesting, and I've got a much easier way to guarantee deaths later, so, yeah. I suppose this place isn't all bad. There is a miracle tome down here that we can give Arena to expand her stock. I mean, sure, it's guarded by 2 dogs because Dark Souls hates us, but here's where the fire arrows come in clutch. Dogs do not like being set on fire, they'll roll around on the ground to try and put out the flames. So basically, we never have to deal with their bullshit again. Unless I walk right up in front of one and let it bite me a few times. Why do I do these things? Luckily enough, this is exactly what I've been keeping the short bow ready for. The quick draw time and that cool little roll attack you can do make enemies like this a lot less of a pain. For the foreseeable future, that's basically going to be the approach. Short bow for quick annoying enemies, long bow for high damage. I took a few minutes to clear out the remaining Corvians just because I could. Call it revenge for every time they spammed me to death, and just like that we've reached a halfway fortress, and after lighting the bonfire we can meet a very important character for this run, Undri of Astora.
Oh, hello. How do you do?
You're going to be my hubby later. You know what, there are a couple of bits from the Crucifixion Woods I'd like to try and grab while I'm thinking about them, and if we get far enough into this place we will unlock some more bonfires, which are always good, provided of course we can survive the locals for long enough to get there, but then again if I do die that kinda helps me towards my goal anyway, so it's kind of a win-win situation. That said, I'm not just gonna let these guys kill me, but I'm not gonna be mad if it does happen, which, given how poorly I'm playing right now, might be the case. These guys are way easier to deal with when you've got a dedicated melee weapon. Do you know what's just occurred to me? The main reason I'm running this way now is to grab some coal to give to the blacksmith, which can let him infuse weapons with elemental status effects. That doesn't actually work on bows, so it's kind of useless to me. Ah well, there is a cool piece of armour this way, and if we kill this Black Knight we might get part of its armour, which is quite cool. Of course, we do actually have to, kill the thing. You know what, I don't think this is going to work, but if I am going to die, I'd rather die out here where it's easier to get my souls back. Although out here I do have more room to manoeuvre, so we might actually be able to do this. And if I use the short bow, I might be able to do a call and response thing. He attacks, I counter. It turns out I can't block a sword the size of a bus with my frail body. We know that now, for science. Let me just run and get my souls back real quick. No thank you, go away please. fuck it, we're just gonna run over this way. It's not like it's not helpful to go this direction at some point. I mean, yes, this way is guarded by two big boys, but don't worry, I've got a super secret, never before seen strategy. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm just gonna sit here on a ladder and wait for them to walk off the edge to their death. The funny thing is, they both know how to use this ladder, but they often just won't. Either way, we've now got access to a bonfire that will be very useful later on. Now we just go back to the first... Oh, actually, wait a second. There's something else we can do. If we quickly pop back to Firelink's shrine, she should probably be there by now. Yeah, there she is, Cirrus of the Sunless Realms. I'm so glad to see you.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am Cirrus of the Sunless Realms, former servant of the divinity.
She might not have anything for us just now, but her personal quest is one of my favourites in the entire game, so we're going to be keeping an eye on her. I also just remembered that I've died twice since I last spoke to Yol, so we can get a free level. Given that one of the bows I want to use later has a bit of a strength requirement, we might as well start pumping that a little bit now. And after quickly spending basically all of my souls on some arrows, I think it's finally time to do that thing I wanted to do. That's right, it's time to repeatedly throw ourselves off a cliff so that we can earn Yol's approval. My preferred site for this is the Cemetery of Ash First bonfire, because there's a cliff right next to it. Now we've just got to do this a few more times. I think that's enough. Let's just have a look-see. Okay, so that's 1. We're going to put that on endurance. Oh, that's 2. We can put that on, health. Why not? And damn it, we did not do enough. One more time, with feeling. No, wait, was it 2 more times? I think I might have lost count. Ooh, no, wait, I think I might have done it right. You see that thing up in the corner? That means we're now going hollow. Ew, 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 ew. So let's go and see Master Yol one more time. There we go, 1 more level. For this one, I think we're once again just going to put it onto health. Actually, no, Faith, we should probably get a jump start on that.
You have attained ample strength.
So now we just have to reload the area, and just like that, Yuria of Londor has spawned.
Yuria of Londor, a close friend of his.
She is now going to be the one helping us get our preferred ending. She also sells a few things that are useful, like these purging stones, which make us look a lot less gross. Let me just go and sell some stuff real quick so I can afford one. There we go, now I can undo my beef jerkiness. Yay, I look arguably better. Anyway, let's go and make some progress. We're not going to spend too much time fucking around in the Crucifixion Woods. There's only a few things I actually kind of want, and even then, none of them are necessary. There is one guy here who sells sorceries, but there really aren't any that I want or that would help me. Honestly, I just kind of want to get the boss of this area over and done with. Okay then, Crystal Sage, with your big hat and beaked mask and cool looking robe, what have you got for me? First and foremost, that damage is not too bad, so I think we're going to be okay. And hey, it looks like getting hit with an arrow stuns it out of doing a spell. Given that spells are basically this thing's entire repertoire, I think that's going to be very useful. Let's just ignore the fact it managed to get one off. Let's also ignore the fact that it hit me in the face. Yeah, I really don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Either way, anyone new to Dark Souls 3 has just witnessed this boss's main gimmick. It teleports all the bloody time. Luckily enough, our lock-on range in boss fights is much greater, so we don't have to worry about missing too much, and the vast majority of its spells leave it open for punishment. All in all, Phase 1 of this fight isn't the biggest deal in the world. It's when we get it down to Phase 2 that things start to become annoying. Because in Phase 2, that's when it brings all of its friends. Now, luckily enough, these are just clones, and a single hit is enough to kill them with any weapon or attack you have. The big thing to consider is that they can all attack independently and all have their own spells that do full damage to you. You know, like arseholes would. When I play the game normally, I almost always bring an NPC companion with me to help me fight this fight. When I say help, it's more just to draw some aggro because this fight is kind of annoying and I just want it to be over with as soon as possible. But because of the rules I put in place, I can't do that this time. I have to do it properly, like an adult. At the very least, the main Crystal Sage is purple rather than blue, so it's easy to tell them apart, although I dread to think what this kind of gimmick would be like for a colourblind player. And yes, I am just staying up here in this corner, thank you for noticing. It just feels like the safest approach. As long as I poke my head out every so often to get a couple of shots off at the main guy, we will eventually win this. And it would also help if I'd stop taking magic to the face like an idiot. I admit, I kinda got bored of waiting up there for the whole fight, so I did eventually come down to try and beat the Crystal Sage, I guess kind of on equal footing, we're both ranged builds, but also because it's just the Crystal Sage, it's barely a boss. In any normal run, I'd walk into this arena, hit it about 5 times and it would die. Then again, in normal runs, I'm using a sword half the length of God's dick, and I usually run a fairly strength-based character, so it's not exactly hard to beat this fucker down. So I don't fully know how this happened, but I'm running out of Estus flasks and this thing still has way more health than it should. By which I mean any health at all, because I should have killed this stupid thing by now. For some reason, my brain is just not braining properly. Oh, no, fuck. Ah, no, wait, this was a bad move. Oh, did I, Dark Souls? So, yep, your gal died to the Crystal Sage. You know, like an idiot. I've just noticed that one of my arrows hasn't fully restocked, so I'm probably running low on those. I might as well go do some grinding for a while to get some ammo. I would just love to skip over all this grinding. Unfortunately, I got myself killed a couple of times being incredibly stupid. The first death was here when I tried to lure a mimic that hides in this room up top so I could get him burned to death by the dragon. I did not judge this distance very well. Oh, did I, Dark Souls? The second time I managed to avoid dying to the mimic, although the fucker came pretty close. It kicked me and the dragon tried to burn me, but I rolled away in the last moment, took way too much fall damage on the way down, didn't realise I had the alluring skull equipped, so when I tried to heal I accidentally threw a skull and got shot by a flaming bolt. Oh, did I, Dark Souls? On the third death I got a little impatient and ran all the way downstairs way too quickly, thus pissing off the Lothric Knight. I figured it wasn't a big problem, it's one Lothric Knight, how much trouble could he be? I then remembered I actually suck at Dark Souls, so a lot, apparently. So yeah, this grind was going fucking fantastic, wasn't it? Oh, did I, Dark Souls? The takeaway from this is I could have done this a lot better. Eventually though, I built up enough of an arrow reserve to give the Crystal Sage another go. Alright, you wiggly magic freak, let's do this. In many ways, round 2 was going a lot better, and in many ways it was going a lot worse. On the one hand, I remembered that I had the short bow equipped and I could swap to it to do a little roll attack if I had to get rid of a clone real quick, or hell, just to attack the clones quicker because it's a much faster weapon. On the other hand, I was still feeling impatient and took way too many hits that I very easily could have avoided. I ran out of Estus towards the end, and after way too long, I remembered that, oh yeah, I'm not embered anymore, so I actually have less maximum health to work with. Then I remembered something else. If I consume an ember item, it not only increases my maximum HP, but it also completely restores my health. So let me just do that real quick. Hiya, there we go. Now I'm the God Queen of Death once again. How'd you like me now, asshole? Ow. Okay, still not very much, I get it. I then made a dreadful, dreadful mistake. I couldn't tell you why I thought that would have worked. Apparently Oh, did I, Dark Souls? Apparently I'm just worse at this game than I thought I was. Okay, let's go back for round 3. Fuck me, there shouldn't even be a round 3 for this Joker. This time I was definitely more in the zone. I took my time, I was more careful, and then after apparently having all the fun it needed to have at my expense, Dark Souls 3 gave me an opening. The main Crystal Sage appeared near the entrance of the boss room. This was the perfect angle for me to get my shots off, and because the hitboxes of all of its spells are so much wider than they appear, they kept getting caught on this bit of ruin here. And just like that, the Crystal Sage finally falls. That was way too many attempts. Yes, I know it was only 3 attempts, but that was 2 more than it should have taken me. Just to spite the Crystal Sage, I'm going to use the souls I got from its boss fight to level up dexterity. Ooh, and if I sell some of my souls and some pieces of equipment that I don't need, we can get another level. Yeah, I should probably keep doing faith so I can actually use the miracles if I need them. Sorted. Now back out to the big wide world we go. The next area that we have to clear is the Cathedral of the Deep, and I'm just going to be completely honest with you, I'm kind of dreading the boss at the end of that. It's a group fight and, well, you'll see when we get there why it's going to be a problem. On the plus side though, during our walk to the Cathedral of the Deep, I can pick up the Herald set, one of my favourite sets. I really like the chest plate and the sort of tunic it's got going on, plus it has a cape. Whoosh. That is the sound that capes make. I took some time out of my journey to kill the 2 NPCs that are sort of hanging around this area. One of them's guarding the way forwards and one was just kind of minding its own business down a hole. It also had absolutely no idea how to handle a bow. To be fair, it was kind of worth killing. It was guarding the Paladin Ashes item after all, which we could use to expand the Shrine Handmaiden stock. Then again, I could have easily just run down there, grabbed the item and then rested at the bonfire to de-aggro the fucker. Oh, and also, yeah, I did use another Purging Stone to give myself my lovely appearance back. I did not spend ages making this beautiful face for it to not be seen. The rest of the journey to the main cathedral area wasn't too bad. Normally these dogs give me trouble, but hey, flaming arrows. Just gotta open these doors real slowly, and we've now got our next bonfire in the cleansing chapel. You know what, I might as well say hello to Uncle Gale. How you doing, buddy? Ooh, a bit of a painting, don't mind if I do. Oh, by the Titan, I've been bamboozled again. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Mark my words. Sorry about that, I just wanted to get access to the DLC now so that I don't completely forget about it later. Now we can go back and start clearing out the main area. Presently I'm a little bit torn on how I want to approach this area. On the one hand, it's one of my favourite areas in the entire game. I love how it loops around to itself and I really like the cathedral aesthetic. On the other hand, all of my fights are gonna look like this, and that's not interesting. Let me just grab that real quick, thank you very much. I think we're gonna take both approaches simultaneously. We're gonna run past certain bits and we're gonna fight other bits based entirely on how how I'm feeling in the moment. Some of the choices I'm about to make might look like they have some tactical thinking behind them. I promise you it's entirely coincidental. It would in all honesty be just easier to run past this entire area because most enemies will stop chasing you after a certain point. But then again, there are some items around this area that I can actually use, like this undead bone shard. But honestly, an equal amount of the treasure in this area is just not for me. Oh, hello, no thank you. Oh fuck, it's still chasing me. Ladder powers, activate. Haha, take that. What you gonna do now? Please make a decision. I don't want to be here all day. Yeah, that works. Oh fuck me hard, it survived that drop. We should probably get away from there. I'm fairly confident those things can't climb ladders, but I'm not exactly itching to be proven wrong. Yeah, I couldn't tell you why I just stood there and took that. At this range, my bow is kind of ineffective at killing things, but it is effective at pissing them off, and that's fine by me. Like I said a minute ago, eventually enemies just kind of forget that you're there, leaving them open to be sniped. These archers kind of posed a problem for me. Individually, they're not a big deal, but there's 3 of them down there, and in case you hadn't noticed at this point, when enemies shoot you with projectiles, they kind of home in on you. And because I completely suck at timing this out properly, I keep taking some very avoidable hits. It's fine, I'm alive and that guy's dead. We got the result we wanted. Who cares if I'm now missing 3 liters of blood? I'll spare you a lot of my tomfoolery in this area, since a lot of it was just me pissing off individual enemies, then running all the way back over here, jumping onto this thing, and then sniping them from safety. Or more often than not, just watching them run off the cliff because enemies won't jump. Before I knew it, I was already making my way inside the cathedral proper. I ignored the first batch of enemies inside as I made my way to the shortcut. This particular level has few unique bonfires, but plenty of ways to get back to the second one that we found. I still remember that feeling when I first played this and I opened these doors for the first time. I was like, oh, there's my safe zone. I've just made it easier to get through this level. Oh yeah, that's the notched whip. I don't need that. But yeah, it was such a great feeling. Since we've got plenty of souls and some ash in our pocket, we might as well quickly pop back to Firelink. Just gonna top up on these really cheap arrows, and let's get back to pumping strength. And back we go. That elevator ride's a lot shorter than I remember it being. Just gonna make a mad dash across here, we're gonna ignore the giant throwing his temper tantrum, and I'm gonna grab the Lloyd Sword Ring. This ring increases our damage when our health is at full. Normally I play far too clumsily for this sort of thing to be effective, but this time I'm also playing very clumsily, so it probably won't be effective, but we might as well use something I've never really used before. Obviously not right now, but you know, at some point. Going a little bit further in, we get invaded by Spiky Boy Kirk. Kirk, that's your cue. There we go. Normally I completely flatten this guy in only a couple of hits. Don't get me wrong, I do want to kill him. His suit of armor might come in handy at some point. Oh wait, actually no it won't. You see, his armor does damage to enemies if you roll into them with it. It also is not a bow, so yeah, we can't use it, but I do kind of want to add it to my collection anyway, so fuck it. I'll admit he had me on the ropes here for a little while, given that he can apparently wipe my health bar out in only 4 attacks. Just gonna be real with you, he's usually dead before he has a chance to do that kind of damage to me. After a solid 3 or 4 minutes of slowly walking around in circles, hitting him with arrows every opportunity, he finally takes the hint, dies, and drops for me 2 pieces of equipment that I cannot do anything with. We pick up his actual suit of armor later, but with him out the way, we can now safely access the next shortcut. Ta-da! Anyway, before we press on though, I'd like to grab a couple extra items. Down here, guarded by this gross maggot creature, is a ring that increases our poison resistance. Given the fact that we have to go through Farron Keep after this, it's a really good thing to grab now. And holy fuck, these fire arrows are just dreadful. And this is against something that's actually weak to fire. It's fine, there are a couple more instances in the game where dogs happen, but outside of them, I really don't see these being much more use. There we go, I got my prize, and since we're in the neighbourhood, we might as well take out this giant crystal lizard. If you remember the fight from earlier, then you know what to expect. It's got the same moveset, and I'm pretty sure it has the same amount of HP, but killing it gets us some Titanite scales, which I'm pretty sure I need to upgrade a weapon I want to use later. Or should I say 1 Titanite scale, because fuck me, I guess. Just in case I'm wrong though, I might as well shoot these little ones, which I kind of feel bad about because they're adorable and I want one as a pet. Either way, whatever that bow needs, we're gonna have available. Now we just carefully maneuver around this big room full of enemies, get to the next elevator, and unlock our final shortcut. This one's particularly important for a certain character's questline. I'll give you 3 guesses as to who. Don't worry folks, it's not really Onion Bro, it's Unbreakable Patches, that most detestable of creatures. I'd offer him props for his very strong cosplay game, but he stole that armor, so being the upstanding citizen that I am, I'm going to murder him for it. As much as right now he does have increased defenses to all attacks, I think he's a lot easier to fight when he's cosplaying as the Onion Knight. Oh, don't worry, I'm still gonna try and be a cheap bitch about it. If I could just trick him into falling down this elevator shaft, all should be well. Haha, like that. Where the fuck did he go? And I've just now realised I'm kinda stuck. I did not think this one through. It's fine, I'm sure we can make it.
Close call.
Okay, I call shenanigans on that bullshit. Let's try that again to hopefully better results. We now know the elevator is not an option, but what about this bit right here? This really tight walkway. We could probably use that to our advantage. Ooh, so close. Oh no, wait, I see what I did wrong. I really want to be standing right here so that when he moves forward to attack us... Yeah, there we go. Before I pick up my prize though, I might as well run up here and grab the other bonfire. Hello, Lady Rosaria. I hope you're keeping well. I'm just here to grab this suit of armor and use your bonfire. Does that sound okay? Say absolutely nothing if you have no problem with that. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's go and grab the onion armor. Now I know what you're thinking, but Ronica, where's the onion knight who's supposed to be wearing it? Don't worry, I know exactly where he is. Just outside the chapel, where the second bonfire of the area can be found, is a small well. Inside that well is Sigwald of Katarina.
I know that voice. Just how long has it been? It's me, Siegfried of Katarina. I'm loath to admit it, but I've been had.
Now we can just throw him his armor so he can escape the well. I couldn't tell you why a big heavy suit of armor is actually going to help him get out of a well. It's probably more of a modesty thing rather than a practicality one. Before we take our first crack at the area boss, I'm going to quickly head back to Firelink Shrine, throw some levels into Vigor and Faith, then give the Ashes of Patches to the Shrine Handmaiden so we can unlock his stock. Finally, I spent the remainder of my souls on some more arrows and upgraded my Estus Flask one more time. So now I think we're finally ready to take on the Deacons of the Deep. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this boss, you're finally going to see why I think it's going to be a problem. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of these fuckers. The one that's glowing red is the one we have to damage to actually, you know, decrease the health bar. When you kill the deacon that's currently housing the soul jumps to another deacon. For most weapons in this game, all you have to do is run in and start swinging. But for us, we can only hit one target at a time. Add to this the fact that we have a limited ammo supply, and the sheer fact that we have to kill the deacon currently housing the soul to do any damage to the main health bar. We can't just damage the deacon, that's not enough. And then consider the fact that most of the other deacons are gonna get in the fucking way. Yeah, this is not going to be a good time. Oh right, I almost forgot. Whilst for a lot of the fight most of these guys won't do anything to you, sometimes you get really unlucky and a bunch of them attack you at once. Oh yeah, and one other thing. This is the first boss fight of our run where locking on is actually more of a hindrance than a help. All in all, this is setting up to be a really bad time. I have a strong feeling that luck is going to play a big role in this fight. You see, sometimes the soul vessel is right in front of you so you can shoot them as much as you please. Every other time it's going to appear in the middle of one of the groups, and if it just so happens to possess one of the smaller deacons that can hide behind the others more effectively, fuck me. I'm not going to lie to you, the first phase lasted nearly 6 minutes. 6 minutes of walking back and forth just waiting for an opening because I have no ability to create them myself. I'm sure the uninitiated among you are just thinking, why don't I just kill all the deacons? Well, they respawn endlessly. That would just be a battle of attrition that they were going to win. Eventually though, I get lucky enough times that we can enter phase 2 of the fight when the soul finally settles in one dude. In a normal playthrough, this makes the fight a lot quicker. With the soul finally confined to a single being, you can just wail on it until it dies. Chances are good that you won't even see the full barrage of moves these guys can throw at you. You might occasionally have to switch up and fight one of the regular peons so that they can't get off their more dangerous moves, but it's really not that hard if you've got a weapon with any sort of radius to it. So once again, the bow being a precision weapon has kinda screwed us. Oh, did I, Dark Souls? So I have the sneaking feeling that we're probably not ready for that one just yet. Instead, I think I'm going to make my way to Farron Swamp and start clearing that area out. We are going to have to take out the Deacons eventually, given that they guard an item that's literally required for us to progress in the main story, but for now at the very least, we have some options. Besides, I hear the Poison Swamp is just lovely this time of year. As we cross through the swamp, we have to occasionally extinguish one of these 3 flames. It's the only way to access the boss of this area, the Abyss Watchers. If I've not told you before, the Abyss Watchers are my absolute favourite boss fight in the base game. Closely, and I mean very closely, followed by the Nameless King. Just everything about them, from their moveset, to their presentation, to the music that plays, it's just one of the best fights in the game. It's even more impressive that it's my favourite, given the fact that I just really hate mob fights. Well no, that's not entirely fair. I like them if they're done well. Sadly though, at least as far as I'm concerned, the series kind of peaked with Ornstein and Smo, and I have to clarify, just in case you don't know, Dark Souls 3 was my first Dark Souls game, so I'm not saying that out of a place of nostalgia, I just just genuinely think the Ornstein and Smo fight is really fucking good. Sorry, enough useless rambling. I've already cleared like half of this area already. Once again, we're seeing that most enemies just really don't know how to handle my ranged attacks. Before I knew it, I already had the next bonfire. I'll put my hands up though, I do know Farron Swamp weirdly well. You know what? Fuck, that reminds me. I was supposed to buy a miracle to make this whole place a little less of a pain in the ass. Yeah, this one right here, Caressing Tears, that'll cure my poison when I cast it, and I can't use it, I don't have enough faith. I mean, fuck it, I might as well buy it anyway, but this is exactly why I was supposed to be pumping faith for a bunch of levels. It's very strange because normally I play a strength and faith-based character, so I would be doing that anyway. How have I forgotten? Oh well, back we go. Let me just grab the undead bone shard from in this room, it's very helpful. Now it's back to wading through a swamp looking for a fire to extinguish. This will mean that we have to do battle with these big boys, but don't worry, they're not as tough as they look. Well, okay, they kind of are, but it's not too hard to trick them into walking into this fire. I am so glad that I allowed that environmental kill rule. Ooh, but before we continue, I'm going to quickly go over here and grab one of my favourite armour sets in the entire game. I know I've said that a bunch of times so far, it's just there are so many cool armour pieces in this game. It's not my fault the Nameless Knight armour looks so cool. Anyway, one more round of big boy jump in the fireplace. No, Jeffrey, you have to stand in the fire, otherwise you don't win. Fuck it, one more arrow won't hurt. At least it won't hurt me. And bada bing bada boom, that's goodbye Final Flame, hello boss arena. And hot damn, I just love how ominous that looks. It looks like we've opened a door to a dark new world. Who the fuck has been lighting all those candles? But there we go, progress, and I truly cannot be bothered to walk back through the swamp to a bonfire. To be fair to myself, it was worth coming back to Firelink Shrine so I could upgrade my main bow again, plus we had that other bone shard to burn. See, I wasn't just being lazy, there was a tactical decision being made. Just to prove I'm not lazy, I'm now going to go out of my way to fight a large demon that I literally don't have to deal with if I don't want to. This entails climbing up this upsettingly tall ladder, and then I have to go all the way around the outside to get this item. Okay, I don't really need to get this item, I could completely ignore it, but I'm gonna. Ooh, the hitbox on these lizards remains active for a lot longer than I thought it did. And there we go, more ashes for the Shrine Handmaiden. Now for a long elevator ride. Sorry, the music is broken in this one, so I have to fiddle around in my menu to pass the time. I fucking love this view. Now we just go up here, and ta-da, we have a demon. Unlike the one we found in the Undead Settlement, this one doesn't really have a whole lot of fire to work with, it's more of an earthbender. Ha ha, most of your attacks are melee, and I'm fighting in range. What you gonna do now, huh? Oh yeah, that. Luckily enough, this guy is basically just a Dark Souls 1 enemy, so all of his attacks have incredibly long wind-ups. Granted, they cause a lot of pain if they connect, but it's not too hard to dodge them. Bet you thought I was going to choke there, didn't you? Actually, I don't think a single one of his melee attacks actually hit me, which is not the way this usually goes. Normally I get hit by at least a couple of them, usually because I roll into them like an idiot. But honestly, Stray Demon, I'm disappointed in you, you haven't brought your A game. He did not appreciate my criticism. Fucking hell, for some reason I'm just really struggling to time out this boulder attack properly. Create some distance, take a shot. I probably shouldn't have taken a shot there. Oh look, there we go, he finally got a melee attack on me. Well done, Stray Demon, I'm so proud of you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to spare your life or anything, but hey, colour me impressed. Before we head back down, I'm going to quickly go to the other side of this bridge bit so I can kill these two lizards. Because these two drop large titanite shards, which I could use to get my bow to +4. Oh yeah, there's a third up here, but this one drops like a heavy gem or something, which is completely useless to me. I don't know, I guess I could sell it. Anyway, back to the shrine to quickly do that bow upgrade. And you know what, since I've got some extra souls, but not enough for a level up, I'm going to go and buy one more miracle. Let's grab replenishment. I mean, I know I can't use it right now, but you never know, it might come in handy later. And back to Farron we go. Hey look, more of these guys, that's always fun. Luckily for us, the next bonfire is just up this way and through this arch here. There we go, and all of a sudden, I'm kind of bored of the outfit I'm wearing. Oh, and you know what else I forgot to do? I forgot to go and say hi to Ludlif of Corland. He might come in handy kind of later, possibly maybe. Basically, he's the guy we bring boss souls to so we can get unique items. At this particular moment in time, there's not really anything that's jumping out to me. I mean, Havel's Ring, maybe, if I want to wear heavier armour. I'm not sure that I will, though. Oh, right, sorry, I came back for a shopping trip. Hey, Grey Rat, you know the assassin set I was looking at earlier? I think it's finally time that I bought it. There we go, it's perfectly fitting for an archer. But yeah, that'll do for now. At some point, I want to go into Farron Swamp again to grab the antiquated dress because I just really want that to be the main outfit for this run. I just have to deal with some basilisks and they're just kind of a pain. Anyway, we fucked around for long enough, I think. Let's go and challenge the Abyss Watchers, the very first Lord of Cinder available to us. Fortunately enough, in one of my very early runs in this game, I beat these guys with crossbows because I was too afraid to get close to them, so I know how possible this is. And hey, this time I've actually got a ranged weapon that scales with stats. I really miss my crossbow character. I should probably rebuild her at some point. Oh fuck, this is already getting hectic. The main gimmick of Phase 1 is that up to 3 Abyss Watchers can spawn at any given time. If we're to progress, we only have to kill one of them, and the third one that spawns in would actually fight the other two, so long as we don't make the mistake of attacking it. There, see, look at them go. If you're wondering why they're killing each other, basically, this is an order of people who are dedicated to burying kingdoms that get corrupted with the Abyss. The Abyss in Dark Souls is basically a black pit of wibbly wobbly badness. The only problem was, and the Legion knew this themselves, they would eventually fall to it too. By the time we arrived, they were already being corrupted, so yeah, they're killing each other because that's their duty. I oversimplified it a bit, but that's basically what's going down. Anyway, I think this fight's going rather well so far. Every so often that third Abyss Watcher that attacks the others will respawn, so as long as I'm both careful and patient throughout Phase 1, we should be okay. I mean, just look how much damage that fucker does to him. I hardly feel like I even need to be here right now. It looks like, oh crap, it looks like one more shot. And there we go, on to Phase 2. Oh, I'm in danger. On the one hand, we only have one target to worry about in this phase, and the Abyss Watchers are basically glass cannons. On the other hand, a glass cannon is still a cannon and getting hit by it still hurts, so we're probably going to want to avoid that for this part of the fight. Plus, in this phase, the guy gets a lot more aggressive, and finding times to safely shoot is, challenging. You might be thinking I should be using my short bow for the shorter draw time. Yeah, I should be, but I'm not. The damage numbers on the longbow are so much higher, and that makes my brain happy. Despite the fact that my build is, terribly unoptimized, I thought this fight was going quite well. I was dodging the attacks properly, landing plenty of hits. I mean, sure, I took a few hits here and there, but I was definitely evading more attacks than I was taking. The problem is, though, that this boss can kill me in like 3 hits, so all they have to do is wait for me to mess up 3 times in a row. My soul counter keeps going up. Oh yeah, the enemies outside the boss fog that continue to fight each other. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this guy only has to follow the Super Mario Bros. Rule of hit me 3 times then win. You know what though, I'm still feeling fairly confident. I still have 4 of my Healy Flasks and plenty of arrows. Yeah, I really didn't need to take that hit, but yeah, as long as I don't panic, I should probably have this fight in the bag. Okay, cool looking attack and everything, but I'm still crossed that it hit me. Come on, come on, come on, so close. Nah, fuck, get away, get away, get away! Well, that sucks. Oh, and now I'm beef jerky again. We came really close though, so let's have another go. Oh, what the fuck? Oh yeah, one of the enemies outside the arena, they can still hit me through the fog wall. Thank you, Dark Souls. Once again, Phase 1 is going pretty well. I'm taking a couple extra hits, but it's fine. In seemingly no time at all, the third Abyss Watcher spawned, so those two just sort of had a fight while I stood here and watched. In the same spirit of when your boss shows up and you have to look busy, I did fire the occasional arrow to make it look like I was doing something, but eventually, through the power of teamwork, we got to Phase 2 again. Of course, knowing the Dark Souls dance, since last time we got it down to a sliver of health, I bet it's gonna kill me long before that stage. It's the extra reach the sword has with the fire that always throws me. I know it has more reach now, for some reason my brain just refuses to accept this information. Ah well, it's nothing that running like a coward to the other end of the arena can't solve. They are still an entirely melee fighter after all. Oh, look at that, because the enemies outside are still killing each other, I got an Estus Flask recharge. Funny thing is, I did not end up needing this. Oh, I'm not saying that I didn't take a bunch of swords to the face, it's just that this attempt happened to be the one that worked. I was patient, I waited for the right moment to attack, and just like that, the Abyss Watchers are no more. How is it I've killed the Abyss Watchers faster than I killed the Crystal Sage? Now let's return to Firelink Shrine one more time to do some level ups with these souls. Oh, hi Cirrus, let's just talk to you real quick.
If I can be of help, by all means. do call upon me.
And just like that, we're finally allies. This means when the time comes, I can help her with something. But I'm afraid my friends, enemies, and all remaining entities, that'll have to wait until next time. So as I do my final level up of this video, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know this has been a very long and rambly journey, but hey, if you enjoyed this, please do let me know. I don't know when part 2 will be ready, probably at some point near Christmas. I've still got to do that No Man's Sky video. But once again, a big thank you for being here, my loves. It really does mean the world to me that you take time out of your day to watch these long videos that I make. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time.